Hello, good evening. Welcome now to Look North. Tonight, getting ready to reopen, the challenges shops are facing to get customers back through the doors. And more than a year after it was ravaged by fire, how one of Yorkshire's most precious landscapes is slowly beginning to heal. So first tonight, Yorkshire's high streets could reopen next month. Car showrooms and outdoor markets will be able to welcome customers from next Monday. Other shops will follow on the 15th of June. But what will that opening look like? With new social distancing rules and limits on the number of shoppers, some retailers say they may struggle to be ready in time. Our business correspondent Spencer Stokes reports.
They held a launch party here at Raymond Town Menswear in Ilkley on March the 14th. 9 days later, the country locked down. June the 15th offers a glimmer of hope for a business that opened into a world where customers had disappeared. But it'll be a very different shopping experience.
From the 15th, if people go on our Facebook page, they can book an hour slot appointment. We're going to put signs on the door, safe distancing, and just literally have one customer in the shop for that appointment. Basically, just because we can't social distance that way, you've got to keep your customers safe and the environment right, so people feel comfortable to come out shopping. That's the main thing. We'd like it to be ram-packed, solid, but it's not going to be the way, I don't think, going forward.
Away from small independent stores, shopping centres are also planning on reopening, but it won't look like this. Bradford's Broadway Centre says there will be one-way systems, the use of lifts will be affected, and the food court will be takeaway only. And those measures will be reviewed on a daily basis. All that is still 3 weeks away, unless you're a car dealer, in which case there's a green light to bring customers in again from June the 1st. Like many aspects of retail, buying a car is all about touch and feel. So that poses huge challenges for car dealerships who have been thinking long and hard about how they'll make customers feel safe when they reopen next Monday.
There'll be some differences, such as the cars in the showroom will be locked, the cars on the used car area will be locked, a salesman will open it for you, then lock it again when you're finished, and then we'll sanitise it. So a lot of sanitation processes have had to be put in place. We decided we're going to go down the unaccompanied test drive route, whereby the customer will go out on the test drive on their own, which is a major innovation actually for the industry, but clearly is a pragmatic solution to that problem around the test drive.
What's clear is that getting back to normal won't happen overnight. June the 15th is just a step on the road, and our national pastime, shopping, is going to be severely affected for months to come. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North.
Well, pubs were among the first businesses to close and are likely to be among the last to reopen. And one estimate in the industry is that 40% of them may not survive the crisis. Landlords are urging the government to set out the guidelines they'll need to work with. In the meantime, they've been busy looking for other ways to trade, as Tanya Arnold reports.
The White Bear Inn is one of two pubs in the North Yorkshire village of Stillington. When they were told they had to close, they were left with a huge problem on their hands.
What am I going to do with all the stock that I've got? Well, I had at that time about £5,000 worth of beer in the cellar, and a lot of food, obviously, been Mothering Sunday on the Sunday.
So how quickly did you think we've got to do something with this stuff?
Over the weekend, basically, and we managed to get a takeaway menu up and running by the Monday evening, and I think we ended up doing 68 covers on the Monday evening, which was fantastic.
They've quickly turned the interior into a takeaway service for food and drink, but they're not sure what happens when they're allowed to reopen properly.
It's spacing, seating arrangements, how many we can fit in here, and the safe way up and the safe way down, and also serving the food at the tables. Will we stay with the takeaway idea and give them a bag of food and then they look after themselves?
One of their most popular beers is their own White Bear Bitter. It's made at the Rudgate Brewery in Tockwith. When the pubs closed, 85% of their trade disappeared, so they too have had to change how they sell their beer.
We've adapted our website, we've come up with some gift packs, we've really pushed the online side of sales, and that's really taken off. The supermarkets that we deal with have been supporting us, so we've managed to now get our losses down to, we're about 75% down on normal, but that's still a lot better than what it could have been.
With the glorious weather, it should have been a bumper time for pubs. Just take yesterday's sunny Bank Holiday Monday.
We probably would have taken about £2,500 over the day.
And you got?
65 quid yesterday.
I mean, are you beginning to wonder when you'll see normality, a nice full pub of the locals again?
Normality? That's going to be a long way off, I think. But it's whether we can survive through that, really, and not just us, the whole of the industry.
The support they've had from the locals has shown them that the community desperately wants them to. Tanya Arnold, BBC Look North, Stillington.
New figures have been released by the Office for National Statistics for the number of deaths in care homes. The data shows that 202 coronavirus deaths have been registered up to May the 15th in our region's care homes. This takes the total to 1,152. It brings the number of people who've died with COVID-19 in all settings in our region to 3,277. Ryanair has begun selling international flights from Leeds Bradford Airport, departing from the 1st of July. The budget airline said it has new safety measures in place for the flights. It's serving 6 European destinations, including Pisa, Warsaw and Malta. No flights have taken off from Leeds Bradford for 2 months during lockdown. Leeds-based airline Jet2 is also resuming flights from the airport on the 1st of July. During the pandemic, volunteers have really come into their own, haven't they? And today, one group in Harrogate hit their target, making over 2,000 sets of scrubs for staff at the local hospital. The Harrogate Scrubbers are now planning to expand their operation by making scrubs for local GP practices and also community carers. Ecologists say the first signs of recovery are starting to emerge following last year's wildfires on Marsden Moor near Huddersfield. More than 1,700 acres of precious peatland habitat was scorched or destroyed. It took fire crews 4 days to put it out, but it's thought the peat soils, which are an important defence in the fight against climate change, will take decades, if not centuries, to recover. Phil Bodmer has more.
Nestling at the confluence of 2 hillside streams in the shadow of Marsden Moor, Eastergate is a popular place to appreciate some of Yorkshire's finest natural landscape. But last spring, wildfires destroyed almost 4 square miles of this precious upland habitat.
It's thought the fire which caused so much devastation began here. Embers from a discarded barbecue igniting the tinder-dry grassland. Fanned on by a strong breeze, the fire soon spread rapidly.
What took days to destroy will now take decades to recover. So deep-seated was the inferno, its impact is still visible, more than a year later.
This area here is a special protected area. It's a site of special scientific interest. There's lots and lots of internationally important species that breed and live here. It might look to the untrained eye as though it's just sort of miles and miles of barren nothingness, but actually what's in that habitat in terms of breeding birds, mammals, insects, amphibians, reptiles, that sort of stuff. There's hundreds of different species.
An order banning open fires and barbecues is still in force. Such was the scale of last year's blaze. Crews from as far as the North East, Cumbria and Merseyside were brought in to help colleagues from West Yorkshire. The biggest impact was the loss of habitat to ground nesting birds. Wildlife is returning slowly, but only one type of grass has grown back. No heather, no moss, no flowers. And the damage that lies beneath the surface can affect the world above it.
Peatlands are an incredibly important sink for carbon, and they draw down carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, lock it away in the soils for hundreds and thousands of years. So we really need to look after those peatlands and make sure that they're protected, they don't burn, and release that carbon back to the atmosphere, which is what we've been trying to do here at Marsden, is improve the health of that peatland and make sure that it's doing its job as best it can, locking carbon away and helping to reduce climate change.
It could take decades, maybe hundreds of years, but one day it's hoped this special place will return to how it was. Phil Bodmer, BBC Look North, on Marston Moor.
Yeah, it's good to see the wildlife returning to Marston Moor. Now then, let's have a look at the weather prospects and join Paul Hudson.
Thanks so much. Good evening. Well, another week and another forecast with no rain in it. High pressure becoming dominant once more, and we'll see many more headlines like this over the coming days. And it's all down to high pressure, which is now reasserting itself, keeping weather fronts out of the way. And as we head into early June, it will remain dominant right across the UK. So the night will be quiet, dry with clear spells. We'll see lowest temperatures down to 7 or 8 degrees. And it looks like tomorrow will be a much brighter affair. Obviously, there's been a lot of cloud around today, but much more blue sky, plenty of sunshine to come. Bit of patchy cloud, especially perhaps towards the coast. But most of us will have a lovely day, and we'll see temperatures coming in at around 21 Celsius. That is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. OK, across the UK, the only weather front of note is a warm front bringing some drizzle and light rain to Northern Ireland and later western parts of Scotland. An overall cloudy day up here, but the rest of the country, England and Wales, will be fine. Lots of sunshine around, and it really will become warm. Temperatures peaking again at 24-25 degrees across southern and southeastern parts of the country. So the further outlook, we'll see a lot of blue sky, sunshine. All parts of the UK will be dry, warm and sunny. So this is the way Thursday looks, and again more cloud across central and northern Scotland, perhaps a few spots of rain. Elsewhere it's dry, warm and sunny. It may well be that Cardiff and Bristol sees the highest temperatures, with Manchester as well. A stunning day to come on Friday. The whole of the UK will be dry and warm with spells of sunshine, although the coast will see an onshore breeze, so more pleasant here with highs of 18 or 19 degrees. So for Yorkshire in more detail, well, I need not say much more. It's dry, warm and sunny. That's the forecast.
Thank you very much indeed, Paul. It makes the lockdown slightly bearable, doesn't it? That's it from us for now. We'll see you again tomorrow. In the meantime, sleep well and have a good evening. Good night.